Hello everybody, today back in another video. Alright, my tennis fans all on the road. We had 128th place when this US Open tournament started almost 2 weeks ago. And now we have only 4 left men standing. And this video is about to preview the semifinals. I just came home from work. And I just thought to myself, let's do a video because I'm so busy. I actually wanted to do a video a couple of days ago and talk about the Medvedev-Sinner match and talk also about the Fritz Zverev match. I just have not had time, my friends, so I really excuse me for that. I'm trying my best to do as many videos as possible, at least during the Grand Slams, but sometimes time is just not, it's not always on my side. So at least I'm doing a semifinals preview video here. Let's talk about these matchups. We have, like I said, only 4 left men standing. One of the players that is in the semifinals was expected here to be, and of course the player I'm talking about is the world number 1, and he is and that is Jannik Sinner. He's actually the only Grand Slam winner out of these 4 that are left in the draw, so he's of course the heavy favorite. He has been the heavy favorite for me already when Djokovic and Alcaraz crashed out early in the tournament. Alcaraz in the second round, Djokovic in the third round. But when they lost and were knocked out from the tournament, I said it. I even did a video. You guys who have seen it knows that I said that the winner of the Jannik Sinner and Medvedev match in the quarterfinal will win the tournament, and I believe that the match that will be the player that will win that battle will be Jannik Sinner, which he won. Let's talk a little about that match. Before the event started, I believe that Medvedev will win against Jannik Sinner. You have seen my top 8 favorite list, knows that when I did my top 8 favorite list 2 weeks ago, I said that Jannik Sinner will lose against Medvedev. I just thought that a best of 5 set format. He just defeated Medvedev just defeated Jannik Sinner in that Wimbledon quarterfinal. And stopped that winning streak that Jannik Sinner was. I think Jannik Sinner was in a 5 matches in winning streak. He won 5 matches in a row. Medvedev won the first 6 matches, and then Jannik Sinner won the 5, and almost leveled the head-to-head before Medvedev stopped that winning streak from Jannik Sinner and won that match at Wimbledon. And went up to 7-5 in that head-to-head. But then I thought to myself, no, this is hard court. Jannik Sinner, he doesn't have 3 big mountains to climb now. He has only the 1 really big mountain to climb in Medvedev. And he knows that if he defeats Medvedev, it is not Carlos Alcaraz who's waiting for him in the semifinals. It will be most likely de Minaur. I don't thought that the player that Jannik Sinner will face in the semifinal will be his opponent. I believe it will be de Minaur. So he knows that he will not lose this. This is his Grand Slam to lose. His 2 biggest rivals are out already the first week, Djokovic and Alcaraz. He will defeat Medvedev, and it is hard courts. Jannik Sinner is better on hard courts than what is on grass, according to me. He won the first Grand Slam event that was played on hard courts, which was the Australian Open, obviously earlier this year. He is the champion, the Australian Open champion from the 2024. Jannik Sinner, and he defeated the exactly same opponent in that final. And I changed my pick, which was the right change to do. In the end, Jannik Sinner won that quarterfinal match in 4 sets. Which I also believe it will go 4, because I didn't believe it. If the match goes to 5, I'm not super confident in Jannik Sinner in best of 5 set matches when a match goes to 5. And Jannik Sinner won that match in 4 sets. It was a match where neither of the players played good at the same time. When Jannik was playing good, Medvedev was playing horrible. When Medvedev was playing good, Jannik was playing horrible. So they never quite played good at the same time. But in the end of the day, Jannik Sinner was the better player, the cleaner player. He was the player who was winning more points behind his first serve, more points behind his second serve. Man, Jannik Sinner won 76 points, 76% behind his first serve. 76%. Compared with Medvedev, who won 67% behind his first serve. Pretty big difference. Not huge, but look at the points won behind second serve. Jannik was winning 61% of the points behind his second serve. 61%. That is high. I always say, if you are over 50% in winning points behind the second serve, that is great. He was winning 61%. Medvedev, on the other hand, was winning only 42% behind his second serve. Only 42. And I said that the serve will be a huge factor why I believe Jannik will defeat Medvedev. Not the only factor, but a huge one. And in the end, that was the right decision to make. I just don't trust in Medvedev's serve nowadays. Jannik has a better serve than Medvedev. And also, off the ground, Jannik was playing much better tennis than Medvedev. Just look at the unforced error and winner stat. Medvedev does 30 winners. Jannik was doing 31 winners. So they were almost even Steven in making winners and hitting winners. But if you look at the unforced error stat, Medvedev was doing 57 unforced errors. He was bleeding unforced errors down Medvedev. He was bleeding. He was doing 27 more unforced errors than winners. 27. That is, how can you win tennis matches with that kind of stat? No way the hell you win tennis matches. Jannik was doing also more unforced errors than winners, but not 27. Jannik did 38 unforced errors and 31 winners. So Jannik did 7 more unforced errors than winners. 7 more. Medvedev, 27 more unforced errors than winners. So, of course, when you have that kind of a stats like Medvedev had, and that was off the ground. Sinner was playing much better tennis than Medvedev off the ground. And not to forget the serving department, where Sinner also was serving better than Medvedev, winning much more points both behind first serve and second serve. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get to the preview. Sinner now will play Jack Draper, a player that they had faced once, which was 3 years ago on grass in Queens, a match where Jack Draper won. The only time they faced each other, and that only time Draper had, that only meeting that they've played against each other, Draper has won it. But it was a completely different Sinner 3 years ago. It is a completely different Sinner now. He is the world number 1. He is a Grand Slam champion. He is much better tennis player, especially on the serving department, and also in the hit, also in hitting the ball. He's hitting the ball much cleaner, much more consistent than he did 3 years ago when Jack Draper defeated him. And not to forget, it is on hard courts. Also, I need to mention that Jack Draper also is not the same player. He is a better player now than he was 3 years ago. One thing to mention about Jack Draper, I don't know if you guys know it, but he's the only player of these 4 players that are left that has not dropped one single set. Who could believe that Jack Draper will go to a semifinal in a Grand Slam for the first time in his career? He played a quarterfinal for the first time in his career against Diminaur. He's never been in a quarterfinal before. He's actually the only player out of these 4 who played a quarterfinal in Grand Slams for the first time in his career, out of all these 4 that are left in the draw. And he defeated Diminaur in straight sets. I don't believe he will defeat Diminaur, let alone doing that in straight sets. But he proved me wrong. Diminaur has played several quarterfinals in his career, but never going past that. Draper played his first and won his first immediately, and did that in straight sets. And he has won all of his 5 matches in straight sets. Who could believe that? That Jack Draper, will go to a semifinal at the US Open to begin with. I don't think nobody had him in his bracket that Draper will go to a semifinal, and doing that without dropping one single set. Now we'll face the world number 1, Yannick Sinner, who of course has dropped sets, not one but several sets in his way to this semi-final. Sinner is the heavy favorite here, even though I respect Draper. I need to respect him. He took out a consistent baseline player like Dimenauer easily in 3 straight sets, where Draper played a great match. 40 winners, I believe, 30 unforced errors. He does 10 more winners than unforced errors. Won 84% behind his first serve, if I'm not mistaken, and won 49% behind his second serve, if I remember correctly. So he was winning huge amount of points behind his first serve. Of course, now it is Dimenauer he faced. It will be a different story than Sinner, but I don't think Sinner will have an easy time. That's my feeling. When you win 5 matches straight set, yeah, yes, had not the toughest draw, Matchak in the 4th round, the Holland Alcaraz killer in the 3rd round, the Dutch Alcaraz killer in the 3rd round. So he has not had a tough draw, to say the least. But Dimenauer was a test. Dimenauer is, for God's sakes, top 10 player in the world. So Dimenauer is a test. But he took out Dimenauer in straight sets. I don't think many believe that. Yeah, some of you believe he will defeat Dimenauer, of course. But I don't think many of you believe that he will do that in straights. So when you come into a match, when you have 5 victories in your bag, and all those 5 have been in straight sets, you will come into that semi-final with high confidence. And Draper will do that. So Draper will like his chances against Sinner. Especially when you have that huge serve like he has, where you are great at the net like he is. But I believe that Sinner, with his heavy hitting, with his powerful serve, with his great returns, with his ball striking, will be too much for Draper to handle. I truly believe that, because Sinner, he took out Medvedev. Yeah, Medvedev is not in his peak of his career. I don't think Medvedev will ever win his 2nd Grand Slam title. I truly don't believe so. How in hell will he do that? Medvedev needed to defeat one player who is a Grand Slam champion. One. And he lost against him in the quarterfinals. If he would have defeated Sinner Medvedev, the semi-final would have been Draper, who has never made it to a Grand Slam final, let alone winning one. Then he would have faced in the final Fritz or Tiafoe, who has never played a Grand Slam final in their careers before, let alone winning one. Before, because now they will play. One of them will play their first Grand Slam final, Fritz or Tiafoe. So Medvedev needed to defeat one big champion and one Grand Slam champion, which was Sinner, and he failed it. Just imagine Medvedev if he is forced to defeat several Grand Slam champions like he was at Wimbledon. He defeated one, which was Sinner in quarters, then he got crushed out immediately against Alcaraz in the semi-final. And if he would have defeated Alcaraz, we just are pretending now, which he of course didn't, Djokovic was waiting for him in the final. How in hell will Medvedev win Grand Slams? Tell me! So my prediction 2 years ago when I said that Medvedev will not win his 2nd Grand Slam title, it's getting to be more right as longer as we are seeing Dan Medvedev playing tennis. But let's see. Let's see if he can prove me wrong in the future. It sure doesn't look like that. Anyway, so Sinner knows that Jack Draper is coming with his high confidence and has not dropped one single set, but he is not Alcaraz, he's not Djokovic. I just need to beat this guy. I just need to beat him. If this is my tournament to lose, I am here to win my 2nd Grand Slam title. Djokovic, Alcaraz, they crashed out early. I have my chance of my life. This is a huge opportunity for me. I am the only Grand Slam champion left in the draw out of the 4 that are left. I'm the world number 1. I am the player who has won 5 titles this year, most titles of all the players in this 2024 season. I just won the Cincinnati coming into this US Open. I just defeated Daniil Medvedev, my biggest test here at US Open. I will not let Jack Draper crash my party. I believe that Jannik Sinner defeats Jack Draper in 4 sets. Alright, then who will face Jannik Sinner in the final? Fritz or Tiafoe? The head-to-head is 6-1 to Fritz. Tiafoe won their first meeting, and then Fritz has won 6 consecutive wins. Has 6 consecutive wins against Tiafoe. They faced each other only once in Grand Slam events, which I believe was 2 years ago at Australian Open. 2022, a match where Fritz won in straight sets. Fritz, who defeated Zverev, another player who I don't believe will win, who I don't believe will ever win a Grand Slam title. Medvedev have at least won once in his career. Zverev will not win one in his career. That's why tennis is different playing tennis best of 3 sets and best of 5 sets. Zverev is a perfect example of that. Zverev has 9 big titles in his career, 6 Masters, 2 ATP Tour finals, and 1 Olympic gold. That makes it to 9 big titles in his career. All of those 9 titles, those big titles, are in best of 3 sets. When it comes to best of 5 sets, Zverev is definitely not as good of a tennis player. When you see Zverev and you look at him and you see this guy's never won a slam, you really realize how difficult of a sport tennis is. Because he will go down as the greatest tennis player of all time to never win a major. He is by far the greatest tennis player of all time to never win a major. He had Alcaraz, Sinner, Medvedev, all of the top section of the draw. He had only Djokovic on his bottom section of the draw. I'm talking about Alexander Sasha Zverev. He didn't face any of these 4 dudes. He didn't face Sinner, he didn't face Medvedev, he didn't face Alcaraz, he didn't face Djokovic. Zverev. Despite all this, he didn't even make it to a Grand Slam final. So how in hell should I believe that Alexander Sasha Zverev will ever win his first ever Grand Slam title? No, he will never win a Grand Slam title, Alexander Sasha Zverev. You heard it from me and remember it. Zverev will never win his first ever Grand Slam title, and Medvedev will never win his second Grand Slam title. Medvedev will go down as a one-hit wonder, a la Cilic, a la Roddick, a la Thiem, a la Del Potro. By the way, all of them I mentioned has won the US Open, and Medvedev is also the same player as those 4 I mentioned that also has won 1 major, and that 1 major has also Medvedev won at the US Open. So all of these 5 players together with Medvedev will be one-hit wonders. He at least has won 1 Grand Slam title, Medvedev. Zverev, he will never win 1. Anyway, Zverev lost to Fritz. Fritz was the better player, at least especially on serve, where Fritz was untouchable, and won 81% on his first serve, won 53% behind his second serve. Zverev was winning 78% behind his first. I'm sorry, 75% behind his first serve, which was worse than Fritz, and was winning 48% behind his second serve. So, and when it mattered, he didn't win the big points, because all in all, when you look at the match, yes, Fritz won in 4 sets, but if you look at all the point counts, Fritz won only 5 more points than Zverev. Fritz won, I believe, 139 points. Zverev won 134 points, which makes it that Fritz won only 5 more points than Zverev. Fritz won the crucial tiebreaks. Fritz won the first set tiebreak. Fritz won the the 4th set tiebreak. So when the chips were down, Fritz was winning the bigger points. And tennis is the player who wins more points doesn't always win the tennis matches. Just ask Roger Federer about that. He knows a lot about that. The player who wins the bigger points. And Fritz was the better player when the chips were down, especially in the first set and the second set and the 4th set in those crucial tiebreaks. So Fritz was the better player. He was and deservedly so defeated Zverev. Now Fritz will face Tiafoe, who defeated Dimitrov, which I expected Tiafoe to defeat Dimitrov. Dimitrov, he's just not a Grand Slam champion. Let's face it. He plays beautiful with his one-handed backhand, with his beautiful drop shots, with his beautiful slice. He can attack the nets time to time, but he's just not a. Does Dimitrov surround himself with an aura of a Grand Slam champion? Does he have the Grand Slam champion or aura around him? Of course he has not. But not only him. Does all of these four players that are left, who has that Grand Slam aura champion around him? Only Sinner. Only Sinner. It is not. Grand Slam title doesn't get won by easy dudes, by anyone. Who has won the Australian Open? Yannick Sinner. Who has won the French Open? Carlos Alcaraz. Who has won the Wimbledon? Carlos Alcaraz. Who will win the US Open? Yannick Sinner. That is my feeling. But who will Yannick Sinner face in that US Open final? Look, Tiafoe has done a great run here. I don't believe Tiafoe will be in the semifinal. Out of these four players that are left, two of them was on my top 8 favorite list. Of course, Yannick Sinner was there. I had him 5th in the beginning of the tournament, but I changed it, like I demonstrated in this video, when he faced Medvedev in the quarterfinal. Then I changed that pick, and I had Taylor Fritz. He was 6th on my top 8 favorite list. So two of the players that are left in this draw was on my top 8 favorite list. I don't believe Tiafoe will be here, but he is. He has done a great run. He defeated Dimitrov in 4 sets, even though Dimitrov was pull out in that 4th set. But I believe he would have defeated Dimitrov anyway. Dimitrov had a great run. He really has had a great run. But I had the feeling that Tiafoe will defeat Dimitrov. So Tiafoe has done a great run. He has defeated Shelton on the way as well. So Shelton is always a dangerous player with that huge serve of his. So, but I believe that Fritz has little gone under the radar. Not many has talked about him. I truly believe that Sinner's biggest threat. He has 2 players to defeat Sinner now. He needs to defeat Draper in the semifinal, which I believe he will do, and then he needs to defeat the final opponent. And Fritz's biggest threat is, I'm sorry, not Fritz. Sinner's biggest threat to not lift that US Open title and to win his 2nd Grand Slam title in his career is Fritz. It is not Draper, it is not Tiafoe. Fritz he's hit the ball heavy, both from the forehand and backhand. He serves huge. When Fritz goes in that serve, and in that serve bombing, he's unbreakable. He really is unbreakable. Zverev, he created only 4 break point opportunities against Fritz. Only 4. That is not much. Only 4. In a match that was played that took 4 sets. And Zverev broke 2 times only out of 4 chances that he created. So Fritz is dangerous. Fritz has better serve than Tiafoe. Fritz has better forehand than Tiafoe. Fritz has better backhand than Tiafoe. The head-to-head 6-1 in Fritz's favor doesn't lie. Can Tiafoe make the upset? Of course he can. Of course he can. It is not like Fritz is Djokovic, or is Federer, or is Nadal, or is Alcaraz, or is Sinner. He has never been on this stage. Tiafoe has at least played one semi-final in Grand Slam events before, which was in US Open 2 years ago. So Fritz is playing the semi-final here at US Open. Here, Fritz is playing a semi-final at Grand Slams for the first time. But I believe that Fritz will defeat Tiafoe. I don't believe that Tiafoe will defeat Fritz. I have Fritz coming through here. He will serve too big for Tiafoe to handle. He will hit too big from the baseline for Tiafoe to handle. He just will be a better player. I believe Fritz will defeat Tiafoe in straight sets. That is my feeling. So I believe we'll have a final between Yannick Sinner and Taylor Fritz in US Open 2024. At least we'll have a American who will go to a Grand Slam final for the first time in 15 years. Last time an American played the Grand Slam final was 2009 when Roddick played that epic Wimbledon final against Roger Federer and almost won it and should have won it. And last time an American player played a US Open final was 18 years ago. The same player did that as well, Andrew Roddick, 2006 US Open final. And that player also lost against the same opponent, which was of course Roger Federer as well. And last time an American player won a Grand Slam title was the same player, Andy Roddick, 2003, 21 years ago. So at least the American audience will be happy having a Grand Slam, having an opponent who will be an American in a Grand Slam final on Sunday. But that player will be Fritz, I believe, who will face Jannik Sinner in that US Open final 2024. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, see you next time, peace!